was the first song we recorded? Fucking
Was it Killer from the West?
Killer from the
Do
West.
you remember that night?
Yeah, I remember that night.
Man,
yeah.
Is
that the night Steve Yano?
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Hey, that night I was lit. I was drunk. I was smoking Primos, and then I was fucking smacked back.
Yeah.
And then that song came. And look, it's crazy because now when I perform that song, and I perform it live with the band, it sounds dangerous with the band.
That's the SP1200.
Yup, and it's
and to be honest, I remember I was nervous because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing because now I've been doing it for so damn long. I don't anybody that came in here, I'd be like, cool, whatever. But back then I thought I had a sequence of drums. I had to do this, and you were back then. You were the same. You were like, nah, just fucking record this shit and we'll put it out. And I was like, oh shit, and I was like, is it good, buddy?
Man, that song,
you know
that song. Look, this is the thing. I've seen dudes with that tattooed on their body. Killer from the West.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest fucking selling sweaters and shit. All bitches rattle.
Yeah.
Killer from the West, and it all comes back. Those are like fools like those, and I've seen those tattoos on people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
it
was crazy.
It was
you know,
a big thing. It was a big. I mean, I don't really regret it, but I wish we would have done more shit, bro. I just didn't know. I just thought we had to be like, I had to learn how to like sequence that. Now that I think about it, I'm like, duh, you could have just took a fucking sample and just recorded shit. But
but you know what? That song. I remember that night. I remember we were in there, right? And I think I even played a key on it. There was a keyboard, and I was doing some ding. I was doing some shit. I don't know if it stayed on the track or not, but
really,
it's just a grimy ass track.
It's a grimy track, and it had no. It was just a vibe, like. Like I said, if I would have known what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done it because I wouldn't have liked it. Get it? Like I would have been like, no, that's the keys. Not that I don't even know if the key was on.
And you know what? Like when I think about it, I think about myself and those days doing music. Man, I was on my Jim Morrison shit. I was straight fucking. Yeah. I was psychedelic out, drugs and alcohol, gang violence. I was coming out of prison. I was on another level. Like I just.
Yeah, so you know, I think that's what we all like, man. It's like I hate to say it, you know, but it's like I think that's what we all like. We want that, like, oh shit, nobody's saying nothing like this guy.
Authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's doing because everybody like now. Beats all sound the same. I'm not hating on them, but it's not for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not hating, but the shit sounds trap, and I get it. It all I can't say you know,
because hip hop. I think like when I think about hip hop, you can't stop it. You gotta let it go. Let it evolve on its own. Yeah. And then it goes here, it goes there, it comes back, but it's not the same, but with a different twist.
It's almost like let it. You're right. Let it go, and if it comes back, then you knew that. Hey,
the other day I had made a post on some shit on Instagram, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was about I put up, I don't know if you remember that song I did a long time ago, I Would Kill 'Em, because that's what Friends are for.
Yeah.
It had the Friends drums, but it had the Enter the Dragon sample in it. It was a Motivate beat.
Okay.
Dum, 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 dum. I Would Kill 'Em. Motivate scratching, Your Ass Is Mine. Well, when this was 92.
Oh, that's from Schoolie D? Your Ass Is Mine?
Yeah, that's from School. The scratch from Schoolie D. The loop was Enter the Dragon, and the drums was fucking Houdini.
Okay.
Houdini's, that's Friends.
Friends.
And then so I'm just thinking about that, like those days, 92, and I put like, this is before the fucking word Chicano rap even existed. That word, to me, that word didn't exist till I think like 99 or 2000. And that's when I seen that word emerge, you know.
Yeah, Chicano rap.
But look, yo cuando oí I'm still trying to find it or ask about it. I heard this Frank V song, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was on More Bounce. It was a demo. It wasn't a song that you guys did. It was a demo. And he says in that song, I'm Creeper from Santa Monica. That's why I just remember that. I was like, La verga. There's another one out there like me, you know?
Yeah.
But his shit he was already rapping on a beat.
It was probably a mixtape.
Was it?
Probably, yeah.
Man, but there was the word Chicano rap did not exist.
No, it never.
Frost was out, but that word did not exist. You know.
No.
So
or Chicano rap, no.
And you know, I said in the post, like the caption, you know, whatever, and then I within there I wrote that from the beginning I knew I was fucking like I was the underdog.
Yeah.
fucking blacklisted.
Well, that's how I feel too.
I was marginalized.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you know the West Coast. Look, in those days, the West Coast was coming out, right? It was already out, but it was leaving the sample based beats and going into like synth, like whatever, like Above the Law was going there,
Yeah.
and then Dre really went there.
Yeah.
Well, Dre is Above the Law. Dre produced Above the Law. Above the Law won.
Yeah, he did.
And that was my shit.
And what I kind of found out was that whoever the producer was from Above the Law, he's the one that like gave that idea to Dre, and Dre just ran with it. Like they're
That's
like, hey,
the
what are you
sound.
like? Dre was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just slowing. Above the Law's like, I'm just slowing down all the G-funk shit, and I believe it. Not this, you know, how many times has that happened where like you might say something, somebody takes your idea, but because they're bigger name than you, they take the credit. I'm not discrediting Dre because I've been a Dre fan. You know, that's my number one.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying, I see how things happen.
Well, no,
you know?
but what I'm saying is que estaban saliendo all this music, and I just like, I felt like, damn, where does that leave me? You know, is my shit any good?
I know.
And almost I felt like,
Yeah, like you-
everybody's knocking this shit, and I
Yeah.
got these little
Well,
4-track demos that,
Yeah.
like, I don't sound like them. I
Yeah.
know I can't be like them, and that shit, like, it kind of empowered me to be like, man, fuck everybody. I'm gonna just be more grimy. I'm gonna be this HPS shit, like, and show these.
I'm gonna
fools the
take
world.
this. Yeah. You
Well,
gotta.
I remember coming right here, pulling up to your pad, and they used to sell crack right there in the little dead end right there.
Yeah. 21st Street down that way.
So, you know, I don't know. That was like a great time for us. Like,
It was, man. And
Like-
remember, I even took my shit to DJ to your hood. It was
Yeah,
somebody's house. I remember that
yeah.
shit.
We did. I remember this. What we did for us. This what we did first. We went and we went to the whole hood, all the businesses.
Yeah.
And as for, we told them, hey, se murió el homie, but it was bullshit. And you know, una donation, aquí para the homie's funeral. Fools with those 30, 40, $50. We
Yeah.
hit the whole hood. Got all this money. I already had told you we needed the tables.
Yeah.
And then we went to Astros and rented the big ass speakers.
Okay.
You remember Astros was in
Yeah.
Glendale?
In Glendale, huh?
Or Burbank? I don't know.
I think Pasadena, no?
Nah,
No, they moved there
was Burbank or
later. Because I
Glendale.
remember that. Yeah.
We went to Astros, got those speakers.
You know what? I think.
And China White was spinning with you too, because I remember we were in the dead end on Juliet,
Yeah.
inside inside one of the pads, but it had a big ass like you know, like un patio encabronado, and I remember que we had the vinyl of the Shady album, and we kept playing it over and over la song El Barrio Más Chingón, and the homies will be again. And then the whole hood was saying, you know, Simon, and then the LAPD came and they came, turned it down, and as soon as they left, it went right back up.
Yeah.
And then
That was
it was like a memorable
Yeah,
night.
that was typical.
shit was lit.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. And then the G shit too. That's another favorite one of mine because like I kind of combined it. Like I knew I was gonna get all the flack. Like, why is he wearing red? Why is he wearing red? Why is he wearing red? Look at now.
Yeah.
It's like now it's kind of like, you know, I'm not saying I was just more for the art of it. You know, the contrast. You know, and then Joker Boy was like the new rappers from the two.
Hey, look, trip out on this. Okay, when I was in there fighting my case, right, there was this dude. He was from West Covina. He passed away. I heard he passed away on a motorcycle. He died. What they call this fool? Well, one time I came back from court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? What they saying or something? Or an attorney visit? I'm not sure if I went back. I went to court or I came back, and I was telling them a little bit about my case, not the details, but just like what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you think? And that fool's like, well, you said in the song, I did what I did. That's why. So I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, fool, come on, you know you're gonna get life. He told me that, and I'm like, fool, you stupid as fuck. That song don't have nothing to do with nothing.
It's funny how
So they try to connect, like they thought that song, you know,
was I did what I. Yeah, it's funny how I don't know, man. I trip out, like, but I get it when you. Okay, look, there's something that happens so people can understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can correct me on this. But okay, you remember being a fan of music? I remember being a fan of music, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, man, how the fuck, like BDP. Remember BDP, Criminal
Fucking
Minded?
love BDP.
Oh,
To
that
me,
shit-
that was gangster
That
rap.
shit was gang. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. That was gangster rap. PSK, talking all dream. People out with.
Fool, I thought that fool was from Compton. When
I-
I would hear in the Mixmaster show,
Yep.
I was like, is that fool from? And then when I heard later, no, he's from
All
over
that
there.
shit. So when you're a fan, then Ernie G got into like, hey Steve, yeah, I don't remember I was going to something like, and he was already kind of fucking around with NWA when they made that first Boys in the Hood, and I would ask questions, even though he wasn't. He'd be like, oh, that's an SP1200, so my light would go off. Oh, SP1200. Oh, he made that with SP1200 samples for 10 seconds, but then I would be like, if it samples for 10 seconds, how the fuck he got a 5-minute song? Anyways, that just once I jumped over to like knowing, one thing was like, hey, remember how the old raps in the 80s to 89 and all that shit, there was hardly no samples. Remember that shit? Like it was just beats. Like maybe there was a sample, but I didn't know what the fuck it was, like the whole James Brown shit. But a lot of those beats, like if I pulled some of those old ass records that you never heard about, it was mostly beat like Joeski Love, the Pee Wee Herman. Remember? That one had a synth.
Roxanne Shante and
but it was all beats, and so I used to love that shit, right? And because I didn't know how they made it, I didn't have a clue. So I was like, to me, that was like, boom, that beat is hard. Like that beat, I was a fan.
They would stomp.
And so now that I started like getting into production and making beats, it kind of took away from that being a fan. It kind of now I'm like now when I listen to the music, I'm saying, oh, what kind of, oh, he did that on the SP1200. Oh, maybe that was an MPC because it sounds cleaner. Oh, the drums are not. Oh, he truncated. You know, like he shorted the drum. Oh, the vocals have a little bit of reverb. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? So if somebody sends me something, like I might not be like that fan, which I forget how it is to be the fan because now I'm on this side. You know what I mean? So that's how it gets fucked up. Like now I'm like, oh, and I don't like it. Look, you know me. Like there's a lot of shit that I never released because I was never happy now.
I'm always
right?
Like,
man, just drop that shit. Drop that shit. Drop and
flood the game,
should,
flood the fucking game.
Flood it. Just drop it. And I'm like, nah, it's not right. And I knew something was, and it was probably me doing something wrong. Like the timing was off. Like you know how I had to transfer, like, because you would rap on certain beats, right? And then I would slide my beats under there, and I would have to kind of mute the beat you rapped on, and, because it was, you know.
I did I think you did it on you used BDP. I think I did that lyrical exercise by Jay-Z, and I think you snatch it out and you slap BDP.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Well, I did that a lot. I know that's for sure. That's what I did do a lot. But then back then, well, even now, sometimes you can tell when it's, you know, you hear these remixes with a different beat. Yeah, they're on time, but you can tell it's not like it wasn't meant to be. Like they kind of, it's not right. So that's me. That's how I be thinking. That's why I wouldn't release some shit, you know?
Man, I just trip out on the whole fucking journey. Me acuerdo que yo y el Bandit, we'll go up to fucking Loyola Marymount right here, to KXOU 88.9.
Mark Nardone.
Mike
Nardone.
Mike Nardone, KXOU. We came from beyond, right?
Yeah.
Y la neta, we just invite ourselves. Like we just show up. Boom, we're here.
Yeah.
But I would come with an offering, and I would always do drops for KXOU. I would always, hey, look, I did a drop for you. I'll rap on a Motivate beat. Motivate will cook up a beat.
Yeah.
And I'll just write 16 bars about how dope DJ Mike Nardone and
but there was a beauty back then, dog, because nothing was accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had to kind of like go see him, or it wasn't like, hey, let me hit him on the DM, like let me send him a file. It's almost like, I don't know, dog. There was some kind of beauty to it. It was like less saturated.
Nah, I would love going up there because estamos bien a hood.
Yeah.
And then you go up to this nice,
it was
beautiful,
a big thing. Yeah,
beautiful campus. Yeah. And then we go up there. And then
it was what, like Loyola Marymount right here
by LAX.
So, yeah, LAX up Lincoln. You can go down Lincoln right there. Yeah.
And then so I fucking and now, like in retrospect, I met everybody right there. Ahí llegaban los pinches dilated peoples, ¿cómo se llaman those ways? The people under the stairs, the of Mexican descent, like
Two
the
Mex,
whole
yeah.
underground scene was pulling up right there, right?
Yeah.
Y luego there was a little area where fools would leave their little fucking stickers, their little, because you know back then
it was
fools would have snippet tapes.
Yeah.
So we, ya nos vamos, way. We'll get a gang of shit. Like that's how I knew about a lot of hip hop, like underground shit.
Yeah.
I remember I met that fool, Cool Keith, Ultramagnetic MCs,
Okay.
and I was like,
Ultra.
yeah,
That
yeah.
shit was
I
hard, huh?
thought that fool was the illest también, you know.
Yeah, that shit's still a ultra. That shit's hard. Yeah, it was just, man.
was
You grew up in that era where we grew up, where hip hop was hip. Like now, everything's called hip hop, but it ain't really hip hop. It's more
kinda
like mainstream.
It's like mainstream
mainstream
pop.
crossovers, same shit. But hip hop, you know, I don't know. I kind of fell off. You know.
And I think que también like there was a point. Sí, okay, me acuerdo que, remember Tim Dog?
Yeah.
And he had that song Dissing Compton
Yeah.
thing. We would watch that video over and over when they would do the
box,
videos.
when
Yeah,
they had the
all
box.
that shit.
Yeah.
And then it was the basement, and
All
then it
the-
was
yeah.
like, I don't know, there was a couple of little rap shows that we would all watch,
Yeah.
right? And then we would watch that, and then we knew, and then that there's gonna be some get back. We're
Yeah.
like, fuck no, this fool's this, like, but see, todavía no, it wasn't split East Coast West Coast.
No.
So I was hearing everything, whether it was this, like, it dropped in New York, it dropped in LA, it was the same to me. It was just hip hop, right? And then after that time, es cuando, you know, the DJ Quicks came, and then the sound, like, think the birth of like G-Funk.
G-Funk.
And then that's a lot of the homies, they gravitated to that.
Well, yeah.
And then-
yeah, 'cause
and
it
that's
was
what
a
I'm
West
saying.
Coast thing. It
That's
was
what I'm
a-
saying. Like, we're in the car
'Cause-
bumping Gangstar, and the homies are like, esta madre qué?
Yeah.
And when me and Poison, all of us were like, "Oh, this is the shit, fool. This fucking Guru." But
But they don't want. Yeah, you're right. They don't want to. They were all
they want to hear
that gangster music, that fucking G shit. Yeah, that shit. You're right, because some of that hip hop, your homies kind of weren't vibing to it. They were either
I
like,
think they were coming into the scene like after that. They weren't.
Yeah, they were definitely coming
Because
into the scene.
nosotros in the house, we were hip hop heads, but
Yeah.
we weren't trying to be. We just like hip hop.
We
and
just
wanted-
like what?
We're
It
just
was-
hearing the shit, and that's it. Like, I wasn't like oh, I'm a fan, and let me go home. Man, I was broke as fuck. I didn't have no money for no cassettes or
I know.
vinyls or none of that shit.
I know.
Yo lo que oía el pinche Mixmaster, lo grababa, double cassette recorder, y and that was it. And that's the shit we'll bump all week, you know, whatever it was. Like how you said, like that Pee Wee Herman dance.
Yeah, and people
All
won't
those-
even know like what, and you know, like that Pee Wee Herman dance. Like, I don't know why I tell people this shit. Like the Pee Wee Herman dance. If you listen to that snare,
Yeah.
that shit's used in Tupac. You won't deny, you won't deny it. I'm a fun.
Oh,
If you
okay.
listen, don't. That same snare.
Yeah.
When I listen to music,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
exactly what I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Like, instead of listening to Tupac and I'm not, whatever the fuck that writer song with Tupac, what I listen to, I'm like, oh, that snare came from Pee Wee
Yeah.
Herman, that
Yeah,
old
yeah.
1980 Pee Wee Herman. He probably said might have not been the same, but it's the same one. If you go
Yeah.
back and listen, like Pee Wee Herman, let me go to Tupac shit.
And I remember there was even like in those days they had like you know how they had that dude on Weird Al Yankovic that would
Yeah.
do like parody songs.
Yeah.
Hip hop had a dude like that. His name was I don't know if you remember this dude Bobby Jimmy and the Critters.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got a couple records. You're right.
Then he had a song
Bobby-
called Roaches and
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of shit like that.
Yo. Dun, dun,